So the time of making this video, what I think is really crazy is there are 569,700 views on this video, and they're still steadily coming in. And yeah, so that's a thing. Let's look at what I did.
Yes!
So something really weird happened a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I made this video on TikTok, and it went viral. That's never happened before. I made a mushroom man. And did you know that this mushroom man made me kind of popular on TikTok? So let's look into it. This all started with Squishy Bee Art on TikTok. So what this creator does is they take water and paper and pulp it and create a clay using recycled materials, paints them, and sells them, most notably mushrooms. They've been receiving a lot of credit from a lot of people because it's too easy to sell, which is really dumb. But they most notably make mushrooms, and that's what led to this mushroom paper challenge. So you see over here is the TikTok that she's describing the rules for the challenge, and what you're supposed to do is make a mushroom out of paper and water, and then paint it, and she gives specific sizes, must be at least 1 inch, and yeah, and you have to paint it. So I participated in this challenge, and I did a few things a little differently, and that caused, I think, a lot of attention on my video. So we're gonna go through what I did really quick, and yeah. So I started this by cutting up some old notebook paper. This notebook paper was from when I was in middle school, and came from a Pirates of the Caribbean notebook. So as you see, there is a lot of notebook paper chopped up in here in little bits. But then I apparently made a grave mistake, according to people on TikTok, and I added unused paper towel, and you'll see in a minute my gravest offense, unused toilet paper. Apparently adding these two papers entirely invalidated the fact that this was the recycled mushroom challenge. A lot of people were really mad about the toilet paper. If you are unfamiliar, I am an art teacher. I have lots of experience doing crafty things, and paper towels and toilet paper hold more water but also break down a lot faster than something like notebook paper. So these were able to hold onto the water and be more squishified. Two of my favorite quotes definitely was the person saying that I should not do any art on paper because that makes sense, and another person, likening me to custom wood burning, which, if you don't know, is a pretty hilarious TikTok. Anyway, enjoy some squishing sounds. I actually kind of really enjoyed this part. I used really hot water though, so it's actually kind of hard to squish the paper around all that much without burning my fingers. Anyway, so we jumped into the molding part of this, making the mushroom top, squeezing out water. When doing something like this, you really need to balance your time with making sure that the paper stays wet, but not too wet. It's gonna hold together when you squeeze the water out of it, but if you squeeze too much water out of it too quickly in certain areas, you'll get cracking. So it really is kind of like a adding more paper, taking away paper, adding more paper, taking away paper kind of situation. I molded the main body, the mushroom cap, and then I made some spheres and some like lemon shapes for the various parts of the face. I do not have a better angle for this, but I'm adding on the spheres for the eyeballs and then squishing around a kind of top and bottom eyelid. And this is really where I had to be careful with how wet it was, because it needed to be wet enough to like combine with the fibers of the rest of the paper, but also dry enough that it wasn't complete goo and fell apart. I added the nose, and then worked on the mouth, top lip, bottom lip, and got the mushroom. It took days and days and almost a week to dry. Even ended up baking it in the oven a little bit to try to get it to dry. But yeah, I didn't only get negative comments on this guy, but I also got tons of positive ones. A lot of people were like, ooh, I want to try this, which of course I complimented them. Some people asked for like tutorials, which I guess this isn't really a tutorial, but you see more of the process. And someone like even invited me to their D&D game, which made me feel really cool. And there were a lot of male genitalia jokes. I was not prepared for that one, but I got a lot of them, and I'm sure everybody else who used this audio got them too. Anyway, painting the mushroom was fun. I started with kind of a green core in the middle because I wanted it to be more neutral and the edges more bright, so I faded green to yellow before painting the red on, and let it dry and added the spots. I did a kind of cream color over the whole mushroom and then did a white wash. So I watered down some white acrylic paint and painted over the whole thing. And this really is what kind of added to the like severe zombie-esque mushroominess of this whole thing, because the lighter color of the white kind of stuck in all the cracks, which is what I wanted, and gave it that fungusy grossness, especially whenever I do a darker wash or a darker dry brushing over it, just to add even more contrast between the darkest and lightest areas. Yeah, so that was fun. I've never done anything akin to like needing to do washes and stuff on a sculpture, so this was a lot of fun, and the sculpture itself is ridiculously sturdy for just being paper, but I honestly bring that down to the adding of the aforementioned toilet paper, even though people hated that, because the fibers on things like toilet paper, they're meant to break down in the sewer system, so that way they are very, very loose and they break down very easily. And that kind of fibrous residue mixed with the water actually, once dry, gives the rest of the paper something to cling to and kind of works like a glue. I had to explain that so many times in the comment sections of this video, and many people said, doesn't matter, you suck, don't use toilet paper. For some reason. People even chastised me for using toilet paper because, like, people could have used it for its intended purpose. But, like, art is always using weird stuff, at least for me. I watered down some of the brown paint and did some weathering on the mushroom cap, and here's me doing the dry brushing I told you about. I did not have enough of this video in frame. I did not originally plan on making this YouTube because obviously it's in a vertical format. This is supposed to be entirely for TikTok, but I felt like it'd be fun to tell you guys about what happened. It was weird. Anyway, here is the TikTok video that I was telling you about. Take a minute, enjoy, and yeah.
I've received another wave of trolls telling me I shouldn't sell these because they're so easy to make. I can go on and on about how disrespectful that is, but instead, I'm going to make this into a challenge. Of course, there will be some rules. Rule number 1, you can only use paper and water to make your clay. Number 2, your mushroom must be 1 inch or bigger.
I hope you at least found this vaguely interesting, and, it's nice to share something that went weirdly popular. Thank you to my patrons, Mom, Dad, Jamie, Cindy, Kaze, Jigme, and Beth. Thank you so much for supporting me, and I'll see you guys later. I hope you're having a good summer. Bye.